One of the driving principles of the brain, again, is we're not wired for happiness. It's not the number one priority of the brain. If we end up happy, good. It's a byproduct. But it's not the goal. It's not the number one goal of the brain. The number one goal of the brain is survival. That's simple. And that's crazy, right? 21st century. Survival? Really? That's the number one thing that we're supposed to worry about? It should be more, right? And it can be more. That's the good news. We can be fulfilled and find purpose in our life and feel driven and motivation and have moments of bliss even. But it's not the go-to response of our brain. Antonio Damasio last century wrote a fantastic book that is called Descartes' Error. Now, Antonio Damasio made the link between rationality and emotions. I believe the quote was something like, "We are not thinking machines that feel, rather we are feeling machines that think," something like that. It's a bit like the Copernicus revolution, right? It's not the sun that goes around the earth, it's the earth that goes around the sun, right? So in the same way, the most important part is not the thinking part. The most important part is the emotions and the feelings. Well, if you take away the survival, because that's obsolete today, mostly. So Antonio Damasio, to get back to this guy, when we look at rationality, what we think is rational thought, rational decisions, etc., it's always linked to emotion. If you would take the emotions away, I mean, there's so many connections between the prefrontal cortex and the limbic system that it's impossible to have a purely rational decision without having emotions in the background here. Usually what's happening is that the emotions on a non-conscious level, before your rational brain kicks in, decide what you want to do, and then you make up a rational explanation for it. So when you go for the pros and cons and everything for a situation, you've already decided what you want. Those emotions have already decided for you. And it's very interesting to see that those are so strongly intertwined. So for me, when looking at the brain and life and how to apply neuroscience into your life, I've heard many people saying that, yes, system 2, the prefrontal cortex, rationality, that is so important. But actually, that's missing the broader picture. It's actually, there's more to the story. We should go one step deeper, right? And look at those emotions. Science tells us that we only use system 2 in about 5% of the cases. Well, that's the most optimistic figure about that. Actually, the most pessimistic researcher I've found was saying that we only use our rational brain, our prefrontal cortex, 0.0005% of the time. That's close to nothing, right? But let's go with the optimistic ones, 5% of the time. So let's say if you use the prefrontal cortex 5% of the time, your aim in life should not be to be thriving in those 5%. Your aim should be to thrive in the 95% and keep the cold-blooded thinking for problem solving, but thrive in your daily life in those 95% of the time. And how will you do that? In system 1. What does it mean? You have to integrate all the things that are important to you in your daily life. Again, how do you do that? Well, what's the kind of stuff that will keep you emotionally engaged, that will keep you motivated when the proverbial shit hits the fan, right? What will keep you motivated to continue and to wake up in the morning, to go to work, or when the odds are overwhelmingly against you? What will make sure that you have that grit, that perseverance, that endurance, that is so important for success in life? Align your life with things that are important to you. Surround yourself with the people that are important to you, not by people who criticize you and naysayers and holding you back. No, get your own support team, but people who are also honest with you, right? And who can look you in the eyes and go like, "Gregory, I love you, guy, but that's not a good idea." You know, have your own support team, an honest support team, and align with the things you're really fond of and create for yourself a life that is so inspiring to you with all the elements. You know, you like music, well, put music on. Well, you like art, well, paint and create music, and whatever it is that makes your day, well, let's make it your life, right? Make it that your life is just so good for you, because it's different for every single one of us. But in order to do that, you will need system 2, right? To put all those elements in place. But once they're in place, they become system 1. It becomes your daily life, and it becomes so much fun. Then your life is going to be way more interesting, I'm pretty sure. And you won't have that midlife crisis.
Sharpen your mind.